Alright, let me show you how to build a super cool, simple, and incredibly efficient bucket list system in Notion completely from scratch. And we're doing it fast, no fluff. In under 10 minutes, you'll have the whole thing set up step by step, ready to go. Even though this video might run just a bit longer, once you've watched it all the way through, start to finish, you'll be able to put it together quickly, confidently, and easily. So, let's start by quickly taking a look at the system together, and then we'll jump right into building it step by step. At first glance, you'll notice two main parts, or better yet, two core sections, our current lists and our categories, which we'll break down. Now, what do we actually do with these categories? We've created different groupings for our bucket list system, and we call them buckets. There are several unique buckets here, and inside each one you'll find a mix of lists or goals. These lists are clearly displayed on the right-hand side for easy access. In this section, we will thoroughly examine the progress specifically, how many and what percentage of the lists in each bucket have been checked off. These check marks clearly indicate what percentage of the overall bucket has been completed. We've actually completed that portion of our list bucket already, and as we continue adding more lists over time, this percentage might actually decrease, simply because the total number of lists is increasing overall. For example, if I check these off right now, you'll see they disappear from here automatically, because we're only displaying the lists that we're currently working on or actively focusing on at the moment. We're focusing on the ones we're actively working on, not the lists we've already finished and moved past. So I'll hit Ctrl+Z to undo that and bring it back. But if I check them off again, you'll see the percentages here might change depending on which list it is. If it's tied to this bucket, the percentage updates too. Like here, it's 33%, then when I check this one, it jumps to 66%. And checking another brings it back to 33% since the bucket just got smaller. So yeah, 33%, 33%, it's all reflecting the progress. Now, if I hit Ctrl+Z on all of them, it goes back. Down here, we've got two more options. Let me zoom in a bit. Down here, you'll see two more options. So, we've taken the same list from above and sorted them by priority, high, medium, and low, to keep everything clearly organized. Right below that, there's a timeline view, which is honestly one of the coolest and most visually helpful features in the whole setup. It lets you see all your lists laid out on a single scrollable timeline. So for example, if we scroll down, we can see that all the days and all our lists are laid out on the timeline like this, and we can easily track them. For example, you'll notice that for a few months there's almost nothing, and then everything is packed into a short period, and it continues like that. Shall we move on from this section now? At the top, we also have a database where all our bucket lists, these lists are stored. Why? Because it keeps this page nice and light and prevents it from getting too cluttered. So our main database lives here, and this page should never be deleted. Even as we create it, just remember, don't delete this page or anything inside it later. It's the main one. You can delete or make big changes to the other ones though, but not the main one, because if you delete anything from it, it will also be removed from these as well. But it's original if you delete it. It'll be deleted completely, but if you delete the main one itself, the whole database will be lost. But these ones aren't like that. I can just select them, hit delete, and even if they're gone, the main bucket list and everything inside it stays safe. Its contents won't be lost unless I go and delete them one by one, but that's a whole different story. Anyway, that's the overall structure of our bucket list. One of the templates that's been downloaded tens of thousands of times and everyone's loved it. Now this. Alright, let's just take a look at this page. I had already set it up earlier. Yes, I've already indeed worked on it. Well, simply name it bucket list and we can just randomly assign an icon to it. Perhaps we'll use a bucket icon, or perhaps an emoji, that might be better. Let's go with a bucket emoji for it and we'll start building it. We're going to actually create two databases. We'll create one list, a list view step by step. This one will be for the category. We select the new empty database option just like this. Then a bit further down, to keep things smooth and organized, we'll create another database, this time in gallery view, to help us build the system efficiently and clearly. Alright, now we have our database. We'll also set this one as a new empty database. Then we'll just move it, we'll move it next to our list view so we can split the page between them. Now we'll give each one a name. Well, name this one list and the other one bucket, so together they form bucket list. The bucket is on this side and the list is on that side. We can tweak a few settings here. For example, we'll hide the page content for now, set the card size to medium, enable wrap properties, and set this one to side peak. Alright, that's done. For now, I won't change their names either. I'll leave that up to you so the video doesn't run longer than I've planned. I'll also hide these for now, since we're not focusing on their names at the moment. I'm not going to touch our list just yet. I'll handle that at the very end. Alright, now let's come over here and add an extra option. So I'm going to add one right here. First, we'll remove the unnecessary extra properties. We don't need them. Actually, let's just keep the created property since we'll definitely be using that. Okay, so I'll name this one list1 or whatever name you prefer. We'll name this one item 1, not list 1, but specifically item 1. Then we'll go ahead and add a new property, choosing the checkbox type for this one. We'll label it done, meaning if I check the box, the task is marked as completed, and if I don't, it simply means it's still pending or in progress. Next, we'll add another property. This time we'll choose the date type, and we'll call it when to achieve, which basically refers to our target time frame or intended completion date for the task. Know when we want to reach this goal or when we've already achieved it. So we'll set a date for it. For example, we'll say 2030, I want to have achieved this by April 4th, 2030. When did this start? When was it created? April 4th, 2025. So 5 years from now, I want to reach this goal. We'll use another property, which is a feature that helps us categorize and organize our data more effectively. That's none other than select. Select is super versatile. It lets us pick from predefined options, making our system way more functional. So we choose select and name it priority, because it helps us prioritize tasks based on their importance. We'll select priority and add 3 options to it. High. We'll select these options, and as for the colors, feel free to choose whatever works best for you. Personally, I set high to red, indicating it's a top priority. For medium, I usually go with yellow or blue, which gives it a moderate level of urgency. Lastly, I set low to green, meaning it's not too urgent and can be tackled later. All right, now the next thing we want to add. Now let's add another date-related property, and we'll call it actual achieved date or time, whatever label works for you. This is to clearly mark the exact moment when we successfully completed the task. For example, in our system, we originally planned to finish the task by the 20th, but we actually hit the milestone on the 29th. So we add this in order to help us know in the near or distant future when we actually achieved it, whether it was earlier, later, or precisely right on time. That's really very important indeed. And now we're going to use another specific property here, which will be a relation property. What we want is to create a connection or link between different elements. We're connecting the list database we're currently in with the bucket database to create a relationship between them. That way, we can later use it to categorize things. So I select bucket, and Notion asks if we want this to be a two-way relation, and I go ahead and say yes. If you have a name, you can enter it here. I'll skip that for now and set it later. So this becomes the bucket. You can also change its icon to whatever you like. Since it's empty here, it doesn't show us any options yet. So we'll need to exit this page and go create our buckets. For example, let's say we have a dreams bucket where we put our dreams, and another bucket like nothing else really comes to mind right now, so let's go ahead and make one for career and another one for travel. Now, let's pick appropriate icons for them. For travel, let's search and see what options we have. This suitcase looks like a great choice. Luggage. For career, the briefcase seems like a perfect match. And for dreams and aspirations. For the dreams category, let's go ahead and use a star or a spark icon to give it a bit more flair. Now these become our categories. Let's open this one up. It has two properties. We'll go ahead and delete those as well. One is the created property and the other is tags. Both of these aren't necessary for our current setup, so we'll remove them. Now, since our relation property was set up as bidirectional, from here, we can easily choose from the items, and within these items, we can quickly add or remove categories, just like that. Now, I'm going to duplicate this item a few times for better clarity and structure. I'll name the first one item 2, the next one item 3, and the one after that item 4. For example, by doing this, and the last one, I'll name item 5. Now, as you can clearly see, our items are linked to their respective categories. Next, I'll change the category of this one from dream to travel, and I'll change the category of item 4 from dream to career. Now, once more, I'll go into in the list view, I'll add a property that we'll be searching for rollup. What do we do in the rollup? I won't change the smart values for now. I just want to quickly show you how it works. I'll leave the beautification part up to you, or you can simply use the main template I have here. Go ahead and download it. It's totally free and you don't need to pay anything at all. When you get to the checkout page, if it asks how much you want to pay, just enter $0. Of course, if you feel like supporting it financially, I'd be super grateful and really appreciate it. That's it. With this, you can easily grab the template and start building your own fully integrated cohesive system. And there's no need to build it from scratch. My main goal is simply to teach you how these systems are actually built. All right, let's get back to the rollup we added. Right from the start, it asks, which relation? Since we've only created one relation here, we just pick that list. Then it asks, what do you want? Honestly, it doesn't matter much to me right now, so I'll just go with the name property. Now it asks, what do you want to do? In the calculate section, I'll select count all of them. So what does this do? Let me go ahead and name it. For example, this is our counter, which is a very useful tool in our system. It counts how many items we have in total, providing an accurate tally. We can even set a progress bar for it, like saying the maximum is supposed to be 50 items, or maybe 25 items in each category, depending on our needs. So it'll set the divide by number to 25, which is a convenient choice for this scenario. You can set it to whatever you prefer, based on your specific requirements. And as for the color, you have a variety of options to choose from. Let's go ahead and change its color too. Let's set it to a nice shade of blue, and that's it. First, it counts exactly how many items we have in total. Now let me update the name from the default counter to something more descriptive, like total items, which will show the number of items we have in this specific category. It'll display the count right here on the screen. We'll dive deeper into this later on. Now, moving on, let's add another interesting property. What kind of property are we thinking of adding? We'll take this same total items rule, which was a what? A rollup, right? Yep, you remember. It was indeed a rollup. So as you know, we'll duplicate it by selecting the duplicate property option. Let's leave the name as is for now, keeping it as the default list setting. Now we'll change this property from name to done. Select the done option. You'll see it shows us 3 checkboxes here, but we don't want to display the checkboxes. Instead, we want it to count how many of them have been checked. It says the attributes are checked, meaning none of them have been ticked yet. Now, we'll name this one. Let's just select progress again and keep it green like before. The progress setting will stay exactly the same at 100 for now. Now, if I open one of these items and check it off, let's say I ticked it by mistake, and then go back to this section, back into what we refer to specifically within our system layout design framework as the dream section. You'll notice there's a number 1 appearing prominently on the screen where expected, based on the general functional setup here. But let's move forward and consider doing another task together today. Instead of simply displaying that number, I'd prefer it to show the percentage for me. This way, it calculates and presents the percentage directly, which feels much more straightforward and easier to track for my needs. It's a simple change that makes a big difference in clarity and usability. And that's it. Now it shows me the percentage. For the percentage, I just add a progress bar again, and it's no longer a fixed number because it automatically calculates the percentage based on the total number of items. So, if there are 3 items, it shows 33%. But if, for example, we add another option, it'll update to show 25% progress. And if I add one more, making 4 items, it'll show 20%. So basically, in essence, you've made significant progress, which definitely signals that it might be time to focus on some of the items more closely or maybe even speed things up a bit. This gives us a really clear indicator of where we stand overall and helps us track how much we've accomplished so far. Alright, so that's done. Now let's move on to the Customize Layout section. Here, we're going to pin a few things. First, we'll pin the total item so it stays right here. Then we'll click on the plus option and tell it to display progress here. Actually, wait. Let me hit Ctrl+Z. We don't need to show progress here after all. I'll remove it completely and instead move it over there. This will help streamline the view. I'm just going to do one more thing. I'll click on plus and choose a new property. Which one, you ask? The formula property. I'll select formula and apply it directly to this page right here. Let me name it. I'll just call it progress again. And I'll add a space. Done. That's it. Alright, so that's the progress property. Now let's go back here. In this formula, what do we write? Actually, it's nothing complicated. We just bring in that roll-up we had and select the progress values from it. And now it automatically shows us the progress here. Now I'll add a bar, set this one to start from 0, and set it to display as a percentage. As you can clearly see, it's already visibly showing it to us right here. However, we still need to go back into the Customize Layout section. I only did this so that when we eventually use the formula, it accurately mirrors the exact percent value for us. It gives us the option to choose between small and large, which we don't have in Rollup. That's the reason I made this change. Now that I've set it as a rollup, we get a much cleaner and more appealing view. As I mentioned, you can also customize the icons to fit your preferences. And that's it. Now if you want to view your list, you can find it in this corner. If you prefer a cleaner view, you can keep it hidden. But if you'd like it always visible, just click the plus icon here, select the list from the menu, and apply it. To keep it in front of you at all times, here's what you do. Click the 3-dot menu again, and then whatever you'd like it to show you, just easily turn it on and it'll display it for you. And then it really depends on your personal preference. For example, I definitely don't want this one if it tries to show it. I'd rather have it lower down. I don't want the last bucket option either, because the data is already included in this bucket. I want to prioritize it differently. I also don't need the actual achieved date, so I'll move that one further down as well. And it looked a bit messy like that, so I'll move this one up. That way the priorities are more clearly defined. From here I can easily edit them again. It really comes down to what works best for you. Both options are available. You can expand it, you can edit it, you can check it off. Personally, I prefer to if minimalism is important to me, I prefer to keep it in the corner, hidden in the 3-dot menu, so I don't see it at all. But if practicality and quick access matter more, then I'd rather have it right here for easy access and quick checkoffs. As you can see, it's really appealing. The progress fills up nicely and I can easily do whatever I want. That's that. Let's check off 1 or 2 completed items as well. So overall, we go into the 3-dot menu, open the list's properties, and simply tell it to show us the progress as well, and that's it. Here it shows the progress. There's one more thing we need to do. The tasks I'm working on now go beyond just using the template. I mean, if I open the original template, you'll see that, for example, the progress behaves a bit differently. Its view and appearance are different. It has a what this is about section. But here, I'm tweaking the behavior a bit and paying more attention to the aesthetics. And here, if you pay attention, I took a view from my list and placed it here. But in the new version, I called the list directly. So I created a slight difference between the two, but now it's turning into something better. Now, let's do something even better. We'll open this up and say, please provide this information to us in such a manner that we still retain the total number of items. However, if you examine it closely, it's only indicating 5. 5 of what exactly? And that's not ideal or satisfactory. Therefore, I'm suggesting that you an alternative formula. In this new and improved formula, we will select the total number of items, and before listing the total items, we will add one additional element to ensure clarity and completeness. In this process, we actually add two lines, or rather we use the quote symbol. This symbol is essential for our task. Inside it, we write total, which stands for the total items. Then we proceed to write total items, making sure to add a space for clarity. After these steps, we close the quote. Here we also add a plus sign between them, as you can see, and now it clearly demonstrates to us that the total items equal 5. And now what I can do is simply close this page. I come into the properties and bring this new total item, which was the formula, up to the top, and now it tells me that I have 5 items. Let me change its position. So I have 5 items in this bucket. And I've made 40% progress. Here I have one item with no progress at all. And just like that, in a simple and minimal way, you can see that even now it already looks cleaner and better than the previous version available for download. I'll refine this later along with these elements. Now, in our bucket list, we need to bring in a few more useful options to make it more informative and organized. We can choose to showcase the bucket right here, clearly display the done status, and also show the current importance level for each item in the list. So let's go ahead and rearrange a few things. Let's move this one over here, slide that one over there, and tweak the layout just a bit to make everything flow better. Yeah, I think we might not even need to show the bucket. It doesn't seem necessary. This should be enough. Let me check what we had here. Yep, it's pretty much the same. We'll show the priority, the item itself, whether it's marked as done, and then anything else you personally want. You can customize it and add it in. It makes everything really fun and easy to use, and it'll be super helpful for you. Alright, so now we've created the view, set up the items. We'll name one of them item and the other one bucket. And with that, this part is done. Alright, now at this particular moment in time, the next option, we had those filters, as you may recall. For example, it showed base, and now let's say we only wanted to show base 25. So what do we do? First of all, we change it to base 25, then subsequently add a filter for it. What kind of filter exactly? We add a specific type called a one-to-achieve filter. Now, when this opens up, we go ahead and convert it into an add to advanced filter. At that point, so we change this one, and now we won't change the rest. When to achieve stays the same, start day stays the same. Sorry, actually we change it to is between and set a time range for it. For example, I'll set it from the beginning of 2025 to the end of 2025. I'll go from the start of 2025 to the end of 2025. Oops, I go until the end of 2025, and just like that, I apply the filter easily. Now it doesn't show me anything anymore, which makes us a bit suspicious about the dates we entered earlier. Turns out all of them are still set to 2030. Since I copied these items over from an older version, I'll go ahead and manually change them to 2025 for each one. And as soon as I do that, you'll see it instantly shows up right here in the filtered view. Then we'll go ahead and do the same for the next item, bring it in, update the dates, and repeat the exact same process. 25. We'll do the same for this one too. Change the year to 25, just like the others. Here's what it pulls up. Want to add a brand new year to your setup? Just go ahead and copy this tab. It's super easy. Check it out. Click right here, but not over there. That other spot copies everything, and we definitely don't want that. We just need this one tab, so let's duplicate it. For this demo, we'll call it 2026 to keep things organized. And now, let's jump ahead to 2030. Feel free to choose any year you like and make it your own. You can easily create and filter it this way. So for 2030, we go ahead and set it up just like we did for the others. We head over to the filters, and right in there, instead of showing 2025, we switch it out for 30, nice and easy. Then we simply copy and paste this little trick so the range comes out just right. Whoops, quick fix there. Next, we zip over to the end of the year to grab one more, oops again, and that one's from 2032. Check it out now, and you'll see it only shows 2030, exactly what we want. So here it's just showing 20, and over here it's only 2025, same as what we've got. The cool part, I set it up myself to go all the way to 2029. You can add each year one by one however you want. It's a breeze. Oh, and we've got another filter here, yeah? We don't want to get swamped with all the done stuff. We just want to see what's not done yet, right here. Right now, we got to zoom in on all the stuff tied to the past. We pop open the filter again, pick done, nice and easy, and check if we need to move forward with the process. If done isn't checked, let's go ahead and take a look. And yep, both pop right up. We'll repeat the same process for the next one, and just like before, it'll totally show both items since they're still unchecked, meaning done is turned off. Then we hit save, and boom, we're all set. So what's still missing? All right, we need to add one more images. Let's go ahead and add a file. Head down to File and Media, toss in a brand new one, and let's call it Images. From there, you can throw in as many images as you want, totally up to you. All right, I'm going to upload an image and be right back. Cool. I've picked an image for all three visible items. Item 2 and these two here. Whoops, I checked this one by mistake. Hang on, let me fix it. There we go. Now they all have images. I'm not going to shuffle the images yet. Next, I want to show you that. So I hop into the layout and swap the card preview to the same image preview I made. Boom, now the image shows up too. I can move the items around however I like and the image still pops up. I'm doing the same thing for this view. Head to the layout and set the card preview to that image preview. And their images line up perfectly on their own. Now to tidy up this view and make it look sharper, let's pin a few key things. We'll stick the when to achieve field up top since it's super important, pin the done status, and pin the priority too. Oh, and let's pin the bucket too. Then we slide all the extra fields off to the side. Here we hit the plus icon and pick image. It'll ask if you want landscape, portrait, or square, whatever vibe you're feeling. Pick what works best for your images, click save, and bam, we've got a slick, tidy layout for this too. Okay, so we've nailed these sections. Now let's check out the main template. See, we've got these two parts here. Time to jump to the next section. What's up next? I hit Ctrl plus Shift plus 3 to toss in a heading. Then I tap Ctrl plus Shift plus 3 again for another heading and slide it down here. After that, I add a bit of spacing to make it look nice. So I label it Sort by Priorities, a cool way to arrange tasks by how important and urgent they are. I tap space and enter a few times to add some breathing room, keeping things clear and neat. Then I grab one of these views, doesn't matter which, and pop it over here with Copy Link to View, using that handy feature to quickly share the view's link somewhere else. I drop it right under this new title, making sure it lines up just right. Then I hit Link to View, which is super easy to spot on the screen. When the prompt pops up asking which view I want, I hover over one and bam, it shows me a sneak peek of that view. This trick is so handy for picking the right one. I'll choose one for now, but then I dive in and wipe out its filters, like totally clear them to start fresh, and make sure no old settings mess with my current task. I also wipe out the role entirely so that everything shows up together in one unified view. So what's next on the list? I jump right in and add a fresh new filter. What kind are we talking about here? A priority filter. I tweak the settings so it only displays the high ones for now, just the top priority items. I label this new view high, super simple, and then I go ahead and make a quick copy of that high view to reuse it later without starting from scratch. Once I name it medium, I hop into its filter settings and swap the filter to medium with care. I make sure to save it all, then go ahead and make another copy, which I name low with a smile. I double check every step to keep things smooth and error-free. Then I jump into the filter and pick the low filter, which is super important to get the data right, and I hit save. Since I'm working in a shared workspace where everyone can peek in, I keep saving everything so no changes get lost, and you all see the updates. But if you're in private mode, just you in your own space, you don't have to save every little thing since the system auto-saves your changes. Cool? We've reached this point, and as you can see, this part didn't have an image, and same with this section. It's empty and displayed as such. So what other options do we have? Well, there's a timeline view. Below that, we create some space, hit enter a few times, and then copy one of these. Just copy the link to view. Copy link, link database view. All right, we do this and we say it's not important. Then we remove the filter again. We don't want any filters at all, so we just delete it. All set and cleared out. What's next? We hop into Edit View. From there, we hit up Layout. In Layout, we pick Timeline. All good and done. Now we head back. Wait, let's toss one in here. Nah, we don't need anything else, so back we go. Once we're back, we dive into Properties. We want to show, like saying, show the images. That's pretty neat and fun if we've got any images. Show whether it's done, show the checklist, and also show the priority. As for want to achieve, there's no need to display it right now since we're already setting our filter based on want to achieve. So let's adjust the layout to show timeline by want to achieve. That's where the real magic happens. If you've already got a start and end date, it's a breeze. Just drag and drop, and it'll automatically set those dates for you. If not, you can manually adjust the dates to fit your needs. I hit Ctrl+Z, and just like that, it pops up in a slick single cell, single scroll slide view, and you can tweak it however you want. So that's our timeline. That database down there, it was a page database. What's next for it? Well, this is our main list now. So here's what you do basically. So what's the move? You grab a copy link to view from your main database, whip up one of these items with it, then slide the main one off to the side and stash it on another page. But yeah, by now it's pretty clear and kind of repetitive. I pulled this trick in the last video and the next one too. Actually, in the last video, I did it every single time. Go poke around those yourself. They'll totally help you hit your goals, whip up an awesome bucket list, and tackle other stuff too. These tools are gold, giving you the know-how and gear to chase your personal and work dreams. Let's peek at our bucket list again. We had a database, didn't set it up this time, but now we've got all we need. Everything's ready to roll and we're set to dive into our plans. I'm Mr. Pugo and I build all sorts of neat systems, crafting clever solutions for all kinds of needs. Some of the key systems I use every day are Superbrain, Business Hub, and Superlife, my daily go-tos that help keep everything on track. You can grab each one separately depending on what you need, but I'd totally recommend snagging the Ultimate Bundle. It's $199 right now, but just a heads up, the price is going to increase soon since I'm continuously adding more templates on top of the main ones. Plus, I'm piling on even more templates to make it even more valuable. Oh, and I've got a whole collection of totally free template sets, along with a ton of premium templates that can really elevate both your personal life and business to the next level. You definitely want to check them all out. So that's our template and system, super simple to use and perfectly designed for our needs. We've created exactly what we wanted, and now we can easily set up a bucket list, dive into fun activities, and chase our ideas, goals, and dreams with so much more clarity and ease. It's amazing how effortlessly we can now crush our big plans and ambitions, all while keeping the stress at bay. Catch you in the next video. Stay awesome. I've dropped all the template links and everything we covered in the description. Later for now.